Good morning, everybody out at Earth and Sky. I miss your faces so much. I love each and every one of you, your comments, your feedback, your likes and your loves. This last week, we got a card in the mail from somebody that warmed their hearts talking about how one of our episodes touched them. And it's those types of comments that continue to motivate us to want to continue doing what we do here. And we appreciate each of you. We're getting our lineup ready for the classes next year that are going to be coming out. We've got a lot of great things coming out online next year. And but today I wanted to talk a little bit about depression at the holidays. That's something that a lot of people get subjected to. This can be a really stressful time of year. Sometimes it feels like a lonely time of year. There's a lot of pressure, and I think this year even more so than most, and for very different reasons than a lot of years, there's even more stress, there's more pressure. There are different reasons why you may be feeling a little bit more blue this year. So I just wanted to cover 18 different things that can help you get over or work through the holiday depression issues. If you are struggling with anxiety or stress or any of those things at the holidays, hopefully at least one of these 18 tips can bring you a little bit of peace of mind or something that you can work with within yourself to help have a better holiday. I think that it's first of all important to recognize what your feelings are, to not feel like you have to deny the feelings, to not feel like you have to put on a good face acting like you're just happy and going through it all just really well with everyone when inside you're not feeling that way. That's not a healthy way to deal with it, because then those emotions that you're feeling inside are going to continue to bubble up. And then if you're in those quiet times, those quiet moments with yourself, and you feel that depression spurring or the anxiety rising and bubbling over the surface, it's important to have somebody that you can talk to. So our first one here is really to acknowledge your feelings, to be able to just know that it is okay to feel whatever it is you're feeling. If you're happy, great. If you're feeling sad, that's okay. We all go through different emotions. That's part of being human, is being able to feel different things. And sometimes those deep depths that we fall into are what enable us to be able to feel the greater highs when we do feel better. I myself have struggled over the years with chemical depression, and a lot of my youth I had a very strong, deep amount of depression. So I can relate to some of this and have learned through my life some of the tips I've explored and utilized myself. If you are feeling severely depressed, before I get into all of these, I do want to throw out there is a free confidential helpline. If you call 800-662-HELP, that's 800-662-4357. That is the suicide and mental health assistance hotline, and they are there 24/7. If you need somebody to talk to, don't take matters into a hard spot yourself that you might not be able to come back to. Know that there's help out there. You can always reach out to us too at Earth and Sky, or me personally. There is so much love in this world, and you're not alone even if you are feeling that way. So step one, acknowledging your feelings, recognizing wherever you are and knowing that it is okay to feel that, not feeling like you have to justify your feelings, because it's okay to feel what you're feeling. And number two, reaching out for help if you need help. That might be a trusted friend, it might be a family member that you feel you can talk to about things, but having somebody that you can talk to, or it might be calling one of the helplines. It's anonymous and free help that you can get with the helplines. Sometimes it helps to talk things out with somebody that's completely detached from the situation. And so if that is the direction you want to go, know that it is strength. It shows strength when you reach out to somebody, whether it's a friend, a loved one, or a helpline. It shows that you have that strength and the courage and the bravery to work through it and to find your way back into the light. And number three that I would suggest is Reiki. We talk a lot about the center, about Reiki and the amazing benefits of Reiki. Reiki helps physiologically with pain and various issues, but it also helps mentally and emotionally too. It's a great way to lift your spirits. If you do Reiki already yourself, do yourself Reiki. Prepare for the holiday season by making sure you're doing your daily self Reiki. If you don't do Reiki yet, contact somebody. You can actually have Reiki done over distance, so it doesn't have to be face to face, so it can be done very safely that way. Or you might even want to look into taking a Reiki class. If you struggle with depression or anxiety regularly, a Reiki class can do wonders with doing so many changes within. Number 4 is to be realistic. The holidays don't have to be perfect. This year, holidays are going to look a whole lot different for most of us, where we normally might want to get together with large groups of family, or you might have traditions that you love and you want to be able to partake in, but this year it's so different. And even some of the simple things like being able to go out and go shopping, enjoying going to the mall and picking out gifts can bring a lot of joy, but it's so important this year to really focus on safety and to take care of each other by doing these things. But that can lead to some depression or to some loneliness. So know that there's always a wave that we can ride as we figure out new patterns in life, and being realistic that things are never going to be exactly perfect. I think sometimes when we watch movies or we see social media and people post just the good things, and so it makes you feel like you want everything to be perfect and Norman Rockwell type of a Christmas. But know that it's the imperfections that actually bring out the beauty, and those imperfections and those things that cause us to change things up and figure out new patterns and new traditions. Those are the parts where life can really come alive in new ways. So try to look and see the joy of the gifts that are brought through those new traditions. Number 5 is to be understanding. Just as you may be going through depression or anxiety yourself this time of year, a lot of other people out there are as well. So having some extra compassion, some extra understanding, and some extra patience with all the other people you're dealing with can really go a long way towards not only helping yourself feel better, because it helps keep you from getting super worked up, but it also helps the other person and kind of passes that kindness along, so that we can all lift each other up into having a better day and to having a better holiday season. Both with loved ones, it's important to have that extra understanding, compassion, and patience. And also with stores, if you are going to retail establishments or even drive-thrus and food establishments, having some extra patience and compassion for whoever it is that you're dealing with, whether it's the grocery store clerk or whoever you're encountering, that compassion and that patience can go a long way. I've been a little surprised at how many stories I've heard by talking to people at the grocery store or the post office, and how many people are not really showing their best side with patience and compassion. It can go a long way if you enact that within yourself and help you feel better within yourself too. Just because you're feeling maybe a bit off or very deeply depressed or really, really anxious doesn't mean you'll feel better by unleashing that on somebody else. So try to turn that around into showing more compassion and feeling that within yourself too. Number 6 is to remember it's not all about the gifts. This time of year there's a lot of ads that come out saying that we need to shop and we want to give gifts to our family and loved ones, but know what your budget is and stick to your budget so you don't go into debt where after Christmas you have a deeper depression that comes in because you're not sure how to pay off all of those things that you were buying, possibly out of depression and wanting to fill that hole within yourself. So, and know that this is a challenging year for so many people. If you have been hit economically really hard, know that it's not just you struggling, that this is a lot of people. We're in this globally this year. So think of some other creative things you can do, possibly some handmade gifts or even just sending out cards. I think mailing holiday cards has almost become a lost art in certain ways, that has declined a lot. And how great does it feel when you receive mail and you open that holiday card and you see a hand-signed letter in there, you see the signature of somebody letting you know they're thinking about you and they know that you're stuck at home just like they are. So think about maybe sending out holiday cards this year instead. Or volunteering in somebody's name can be a great way to give a gift. And you can actually do volunteering opportunities over the phone, so you don't even have to go in to be encountering people or animals. The very first time I volunteered, it was actually to do, it was community service, traffic ticket, but I was so excited. They let me choose my charity, and so for Best Friends Animal Sanctuary in Utah, I did a whole bunch of hours of phone work, much more than I was supposed to do, because I found it was really fun. So you can get creative. So if there's a charity or something that you really like, or maybe you know a loved one likes a specific charity, then you can volunteer hours in their name and let them know how you paid forward that kindness, and it doesn't cost anything from you. There's so many different ways that we can adapt to life as we navigate this year with COVID, and eventually things will get back to normal. Number 7, plan ahead to try to avoid getting overwhelmed. I know this is a big thing with myself because I tend to have a whole lot of things on the calendar, and I was expecting this year to slow down a little bit, but it just seemed to have gotten even busier with more distant work and Zoom and all of that type of technology. And it's so important. One of the things I've learned is to plan ahead. So it might be, if you have a busy calendar, that you need to mark on your calendar what days you're doing your holiday cards, or what day you're wrapping your gifts, or what day you're spending time with your family, or what day you're just going to sit and do nothing. You know, marking those things on your calendar is a really great way to plan things out so it doesn't end up being last minute where you feel overwhelmed. And this comes also back to acknowledging your feelings and recognizing what you want to do within yourself this holiday season too. Even if it's just you, and maybe it's just you by yourself this holiday season, or maybe you have one other person in your family that you're going to be with, there are probably still some things that you're going to be wanting to do for the holidays. So plan it out so you're not getting overwhelmed right at the last second with it. And that will help keep that anxiety level down, which can help keep that depression from climbing up sometimes. And number 8 is learn to say no and learn to take time for yourself. This time of year can be a time where sometimes there are a lot of things that are vying for our attention, and a lot of things that feel really pressing. And this year maybe even more so in different ways than other years, because we're trying to figure out how to do those things and those traditions that we enjoy, but to do it safely or to do it differently, which adds in a whole nother level of planning that you're trying to do with it too. So learn that you can say no to what you don't want to do, and that is okay. And say yes to the things that you do want to do. Don't deny yourself those things that you do want to do when it can be done in a safe manner. So learning how to say no, and learning when to say yes, and learning to take time for yourself. Each of those can help you to come into that present moment within yourself so that you can feel really present to be able to release that depression. And then number 9, focus on the people who lift you up. There are a lot of things in life that we can focus on. We can focus on that person that cuts us off in traffic, and then you go from there to dropping your bag of groceries that you've just been holding, and then something else happens, and you can focus on each of those negatives. Or you can focus on the person who helped you pick up whatever it was you dropped, or the cars that let you go over when you were wanting to get into the next lane, or the cars that gave you enough space that weren't right on your tail, and really truly focusing on the people that lift you up in life. It might be people that you know personally that make you smile in life. It might be people that you like to watch on TV. Maybe there's somebody who inspires you as a speaker, or your favorite actress, or something like that. Focus on those people who lift you up and those that make you smile, because what you focus on is what magnifies in your life. So it's important to focus on those things that lift you up and those things that spark joy and spark inspiration within you. Number 10 is to learn what taking care of yourself means. that's different for each person. For some people, taking care of yourself means getting extra rest or having a day where you don't answer the phone and you don't do anything and you just stay in your PJs and it feels so good. For other people, taking care of themselves might be getting a massage or reading a book or being on the phone with a friend. Some people recharge more by being social, and so that can be really hard in these days. So it might be that you have a Zoom friend call that you coordinate with all of your friends and you can see each other's faces online. Or it might be that you want to watch a movie at home, where everybody is different. But learn what it is that you like and what it is that inspires you and what it is that sparks joy within yourself so that you can recharge. When you're feeling down, when you're feeling tired, when you're feeling overwhelmed and exhausted, figure out what it is that makes you recharge so you feel like you have yourself again and you can feel that joy zesting back up within your life. For me, I tend to find joy in things that bring in beauty, and it can be just very, very simple things. I know that we're in an era right now where we're all wearing masks over our face when we're around other people, and so I was a little inspired when I saw some people that had amazing masks that make it actually fun to wear masks. They have things like this that can be great for the holidays. You want to make sure you have a good coverage mask, of course, that has the multiple layers of fabric on your face, but then you can get these covers that go over it to make other people smile as you sparkle when you walk by. And it'll bring some joy to yourself too as you see it on yourself or you're aware that you have it. Things like that, just little things. I know that for myself, when, as we have different things, whether it's getting older or there's underlying health conditions, things like that, oftentimes we have different pills that we have to take in life. And I'm one of those people that did not like to do that, but getting a pill case that looks really pretty and makes me smile when I see it makes it okay to take my pills. So sometimes it's just little twinges of things that you can shift or change to bring some beauty and something that makes you smile. So figure out what sparks that joy and then do it. Sometimes it can be very, very simple things that change the feeling of life on its momentary daily basis, moment to moment basis. So figure out what makes you smile. One of the things you could do would be just to read a book and get lost in it. If you want to just allow your mind to wander into a beautiful escape, or maybe a crime novella or something that really excites you and interests you, a book is a great way to kind of leave the reality that we're in right now and really just delve into the characters that can be played out on the pages of a book and allow your mind to just escape and really enjoy that time. Figuring out what type of book you like. If you don't normally read, there's so many different types of books, and if you find a book that within the first couple of pages you're enthralled in it, that's the way to go. We do loan out books at Earth and Sky too. If you want to call us, I can set something up if there's a book that you're wanting to borrow, or the library apps. We actually haven't been doing that during COVID, now that I say that, but the library, just to bring you up and let you down. So the library apps have actually apps for books on that are digital that can just come right to your phone, which are amazing. So you can, of course, most people know about Kindle books, but the libraries actually have those same versions, which is pretty incredible. So you can do it right from your home and not even having to leave anywhere. And then the next one would be healthy habits really help. It's so important this time of year to keep your health up. Keep your nutrition up. There's a lot of sugar out there this time of year, but keeping your nutrition up will help you feel better. Staying hydrated is important too. Make sure you're drinking a lot of water. The winter is very drying, and you should be drinking many glasses of water every single day. That's going to help your brain better. It's going to help your muscles function better. It'll help your skin look better. So many benefits. And make sure you're getting enough rest too. It's hard to function and to be happy and perky and not overwhelmed if you're not getting enough rest. So make sure you're getting enough rest. If you need to take a nap in the day and you have a schedule that allows that, then do it. If you're home, cut the time out so that you give yourself a 20-minute power nap. Getting enough rest is so key to getting through this season and keeping your spirits up. And then number 14, take time to breathe, which especially in this era of COVID is so important. I've talked about that in a few life talks about deep breathing and really taking in deep breaths, using the full capacity of your lungs is so important. That we were just talking to a COVID pulmonologist the other day, and he talked also about that importance of deep breathing. Using your full lung capacity will help protect you should you have the unfortunate incident of getting COVID. If you practice deep breathing, it really helps. But on top of that, deep breathing will help you to lift out of depression as well. It helps if you have anxiety boiling up. If you just take a deep breath, it immediately does multiple effects in the brain to calm that down and allow you to come into the present moment. Simply just doing things where you're taking time to breathe, like stargazing too. Adding some fun adventure to it. Go outside. We've had several clear nights lately where you could actually see a lot of the stars in Michigan, which is kind of a rare feat in Michigan, but that's been happening a lot lately. Or walking in nature. If you want to walk during the day, go walk down a nature trail or just around the block in your area. Go look at Christmas lights, things like that, where you can just breathe, relax, and take it in. Taking time to meditate, of course, is always a huge plus in eliminating depression and reducing anxiety. Doing your self-Reiki, you can do all of those with all your deep breathing. Going for a walk can do wonders to clear the mind and lift the soul. This also helps if you have seasonal affective disorder too. If you have seasonal affective disorder, it compounds a whole nother layer on the holiday depression. So doing something where you're taking a walk in the middle of the day, getting that sunlight into your body, clearing out the mind, allowing your adrenaline to come up while you're doing some walking, can really help in multiple ways with seasonal affective disorder. A light box can help as well, but walking really does so much psychologically and physiologically to lift the mind and the body. Alcohol can intensify your emotions, and this time of year there are so many commercials for different bourbons and vodkas and whatever kind of alcohol is out there, and they make it alluring sometimes because they show these social settings and everybody looking like they're happy. But alcohol intensifies emotions, and it can actually leave you feeling much worse off when the alcohol wears off. It actually is a depressant, so it's really good if you're struggling with depression or anxiety to try to avoid alcohol, because it may feel good right in the moment, or it might not, depending on your chemistry, but afterwards it will very likely be leaving you more depressed and struggling to pull out of that a bit. Helping somebody at the number 17 here, helping somebody less fortunate than you can help lift you out of your depression as you gain perspective and purpose by seeing the impact that you can make helping others one life at a time, whether it's human or animals. And again, can be a tricky one as we're navigating COVID, because there are a lot of things you need to be careful of, but there are ways that you can help and you can volunteer safely, and some of those even are from your home, but being able to help out with other people. But when you do that, if you are feeling like you're already struggling in your own life and you go out and you help people that are less fortunate, and you start seeing that you're making a difference in their lives, or you see yourself brighten somebody else's day, whether it's somebody that's less fortunate or not, seeing somebody else smiling or seeing that you can have an impact on helping others to feel better, or to navigate better, both can bring that sense of purpose into your life, which can be a huge aspect of lifting depression, but also sometimes we need that little dose of perspective too, of seeing people that have it a lot worse than we do. Depression is a hard thing within the mind. It doesn't necessarily reflect what is in your outer circumstance, but sometimes seeing that perspective with other people can help to lift you up and bring you into perspective of recognizing what you have that you are grateful for, and recognizing that you do have a purpose and a mission, and you are here for a reason on this planet, in this body, at this time. And then the last thing I just wanted to mention, again, if you are feeling really down and you really need to reach out to somebody, know that you can call a professional too. There are a lot of professionals that you can find locally in whatever area you are, or you can call one of those national numbers like 1-800-662-HELP. You can also get referrals from some of the national helplines as well. I do have a woman who will be coming on. We'll be airing the episode either in late January or February. I haven't decided yet which, but she's has her doctorate in social work, and is going to be coming on the show to talk about brain spotting, which is a really interesting modality. It's a newer modality. Fantastic for depression. It's fantastic for releasing trauma if you had early child trauma or trauma that occurred as an adult. It's a really, really interesting psychology model that is a little bit newer. It's been around for a few years, but it is a bit newer. It's just starting to grow. So I look forward to having that episode coming up here in about a month or so with Dr. Yvonne McAdon. She is a local social worker in the Genesee County area. So she would be somebody that we could refer you to, or many, many other people too, if you do feel like you need some extra help out there. It shows strength and courage to reach out to people. I hope this has given you some ideas to help beat the holiday blues, and to know that it's okay to feel whatever you're feeling, and there is a way to lift up, to see into the light as well. I hope that you are able to find ways to spark joy and feel the warmth, and know that even if you feel like you're alone in some ways, we're all in this together and you're not really alone. We love you very deeply at Earth and Sky Center. We're always here for you. If there's anything we can do, reach out to us as well. We would really appreciate it if you would hit the like button on this video, subscribe to us on YouTube, and join our Facebook page. Thank you so much, and have a great day, everyone.